For our first video lesson, we're going to talk about how to create a Google form. Once you have signed into Google, you will see a screen that looks kind of similar to what my screen looks like right now. The main things to be aware of when you come to this screen is on the left-hand side there's a button that says Create. We're going to click on Create, and this will give us several different options of what we're going to create. The first option is a document, which is very similar to Microsoft Word. We also have a presentation, which is just like a Microsoft PowerPoint. And then we have a spreadsheet, just like the Excel. Google Form, this allows you to do different tests, quizzes, surveys, different exit options. Then there's also Drawing. And then Folder, which allows you to organize your folders based on the test or the quizzes or the assignments that you're making. For today, we're going to click on Form. Once you click on Form, this is what it's going to look like. If you notice in the top left-hand corner, there's a couple of different boxes you can check or uncheck. One thing we for sure want to do is to make sure that we require South Sioux City Schools sign in to view this form. We don't want this to be a public document where other people can find it. We want to make sure that all students are logged in as a South Sioux City student. We also want to make sure that it automatically collects their username when they fill out the form. That way we can have a little bit of accountability on the student's part, since they all do have a unique username and a unique password. Once you're on this, the very first thing I like to do is I want to title the assignment whatever it is instead of untitled form. We're going to put Math Chapter 2 Test. Then the next box, we want to put down the directions. So let's just say, please take your time and use your paper. Best of luck. Once we have that, then we can start to type in our questions. The first question, we're just going to make this really easy just to kind of show you how this works. First question I'm going to put down is, let's say 5 times 4 equals, or we question mark, or we can put equals either way. And for this, there's several different types of questions you can do. The first question type is text. That allows you to do kind of just a short word answer. You can also do a paragraph text, which is more along the lines of like an essay or longer answers. Multiple choice is obviously just a multiple choice where it gives you several different choices for your answer. Checkboxes, excuse me, are very similar to multiple choice in that it gives you several options or choices. But the neat thing about checkboxes, you can check several boxes for your favorites or something like that. Choose from a list. This is a drop-down menu, which it's similar to multiple choice. It gives you several different choices. It's just a different style for the kids to see. Scale allows you the option of setting up a scale as far as it can be 0 through 10, or it can go 1 through 10. It can also go different options such as 1 through 3, 1 through 5. There's a lot of different choices to practice with that. And a grid gives you 5 columns of information or possible choices to select. My main suggestion is to create a form to practice it. Click on grid, try it. You can always erase these, so it's pretty easy to do. We're just going to do text for our first answer. So we're going to say 5 times 4, and we're not going to put the answer right here. We do want to make sure this is a required question, so I'm going to click on the checkbox here, make this a required question. Alright, my first question is 5 times 4. That's where I want it. Now for our second question, I'm going to double click to get the question to pop up. This time I'm going to do 10 times 10 equals, and I'm also going to have this be the text, and we'll make this a required question. We'll click Done. Now let's say I made a mistake back up here. All I have to do is double click it, and then I can edit whatever my question was. If I like it that way, I'm just going to press Done. I want it to be more than just 2 questions, so I'm going to add another item. I'm going to go up here in the top left-hand corner where it says Add Item. This time I want to do a multiple choice question, so I'm going to click on multiple choice, and I'm going to put down, let's go 7 times 6, oops, equals, I'm going to put my multiple choice here, so I'm going to put down, let's say 24, 34, 44, let's put 42. Now something that is really awesome with the Google, it automatically is saving while we're doing this form. We don't want to check any of these boxes. We want to leave that open for the students to check. We're not going to put the correct answer in. We're just going to put make this a required question, and I'm going to click done. We can continue this process to add as many questions as we would like. If you want to view or preview your test or the survey or whatever you've created, you can click on this bottom button on here where it says you can view the published form here. I'm going to click on this to show you what it looks like. Here's what the students will see. They will see this exact test right here. Now, the reason it has my name up here is because I'm actually signed in as I normally would sign in for my account. So the students would just go ahead and they'd type in their answer, and then if they wanted to, they could have a copy of their responses sent to them. This would be an excellent way to have the kids take a test. Maybe if they didn't do so well, they could learn from their mistakes and they could resubmit their new answers. This is kind of like a Form A, a Form B type of deal in which they're learning from their mistakes. If they were to skip a question here and they click submit, it wouldn't allow them to do it because these are all required questions. Now, one of the ways you would want to create something to not have it be required is maybe a survey. A survey where you're asking personal information or something like that. It could be not required, but otherwise I would always suggest having all of your questions required. Once the students hit submit, so I'm just going to fill this out real quick to show you what it looks like. And then we're going to hit submit. You will always see a screen like this. It'll say the title of the assignment and it'll say your response has been recorded. When they're done, then they can just simply exit out. Now on the teacher side, you will get a spreadsheet that'll show you your information that the students scored. Now back to our actual test here. When you think you are completely finished, you can make sure that you have your boxes checked correctly up here. And if you're not sure, here's a great link for you. It says, what's this? You can click on it. It'll tell you exactly what you need to know. Then you can go to email this form. And if you've already set up your students as a group or a group of contacts, you can just choose that from this list here. And you're going to click on send. The students will open up their Gmail accounts and they will have their test ready to take. Thank you very much.